What is up, my people? How are we doing today? I hope this video has found you well. We are going to be talking boxing today, but I do want to talk about some things that happened as well. Um, as you guys probably already know, Donald Trump got shot at again, and I mean, at this point, it's getting ridiculous, right? It's getting ridiculous. The way politics is going here, um, it just doesn't look good. It's not a good look, basically. Is what I'm trying to say. In the last video where I mentioned this, a couple of videos ago actually, um, I said that this made us look bad, as a country. That the political landscape it's so toxic and so crazy um, that assassination attempts now are becoming like like yeah, and it's just crazy. I mean, you guys let me know what you guys think about it. Um, it's also another right winger as well. I think he used to be a Trump supporter, and then um, he became an ever Trumper, and then started supporting another candidate. And but still still a Republican candidate. And that's just what I've heard personally. Of course, there's going to be people that think the Democrats sent them. Or listen, if the Democrats would have sent somebody, first of all, it's not what they do. Historically, most assassins that we had have been conservative, have been right wingers. Um, that's just the way it is. Me personally, I follow patterns, and it doesn't mean that it's always going to be the case. But these last two attempts on the president have been from people on the right, either far right or even, and it doesn't even have to be far right, because this recent shooter, he really didn't shoot at Trump. He pointed his weapon at the uh, Secret Service, I believe, or the FBI, one of those, and they arrested him. So, but my point is, he wasn't even right wing extremist like the last guy. The last guy, he was an extremist, and of course, what he did was extreme, but him himself was a bit more of a centrist Republican. And I think his gripe with Trump is that Trump was too extreme and too far right for him. I think that's what his particular problem, I think, was with Trump. Um, so and I'm not saying there's something wrong with that party. I think it's just you know sometimes people just wake up and they're like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and it just happens. So I think the accessibility of the guns is a problem, because we see two people here that are different from each other. They're both from the right, but they're very different when it comes to their politics. One of them seemed to be a centrist right winger. Another one seemed to be an extremist right winger. And really, it's just perspective, right? You can think one is not so extreme in your point of view, but for others' point of view, he is. Um, but it just goes to show the accessibility of the weapon was more so the problem, not necessarily the extremes. But anyways, um, let's move on to boxing, guys. But let's start with some funny news. I don't know if you guys heard, but Kendrick Lamar is trying to challenge Canelo Alvarez. I mean, everybody wants a payday now, so it's like, it's like might as well, might as well. Payday, payday. That's crazy. Listen, Kendrick Lamar, or rather Terrence Crawford, needs to get his popularity up because people don't even know who he is. You know, they confuse him with rappers. They confuse him um, Flavor Flav. You know, who they don't even know. They don't know who he is. Um, Even the guy behind him over here, you get this guy over here. He's like, oh damn, they doing my dude wrong over here. God, man, he's embarrassed for him. He's embarrassed. He's like, damn, they calling him Kendrick. God damn, bro. Um, and then Turkey over here is like, you motherfucker, how dare you talk to Terrence Crawford this way. Um, like he balling his fist up too. He's like, you motherfucker, you. Um, yeah, man, that's just crazy. Like, and then some people are saying that because of Canelo's last performance against Berlanga, or the recent uh, performance against Berlanga, that Terrence Crawford stands a chance. And I don't know what they're looking at, right? I don't see what they're seeing. Did he get a couple of shots in? Did Berlanga get a couple of shots in? Yes, but they weren't even that crazy. It was in the later rounds. Most people don't make it to the later rounds with Canelo. Recently, they have been making it, but that's because they're bigger guys. You know, these guys are huge compared um, to Terrence Crawford. You know, and in my opinion, Canelo's just been up there in those. He's been out there in that mountain for too long for Terrence Crawford to just come up there and think that he's gonna do what those people that live in that mountain can't even do to Canelo. It doesn't make any sense to me. But moving on here, to more serious news. Um, this fight between Lara and Danny Garcia was kind of weird to me. Both of them seemed kind of old. Both of them seemed like they wanted to just hug and be like, "Hey, man, let's just chill for a little bit and talk about, life. Like old people." It's bro, like I was looking at Lara's bald spot, shining in the light. Looking at Danny Garcia, like kind of like, man, like he didn't want to be there. Even if he wants to be there, or he thinks he wants to be there, once he get hit with the first shot, he was like, man, I don't even think I'm too old for this, bro. I don't even think I'm qualified to be boxing, bro. Um, and yeah, he can't see punches coming no more, dude. He can't. And Garcia, one of his strengths was his chin. I think what it was really, to be honest, it was his only strength, and he had like a good left hook, but that's about it. Um, but his attitude towards fighting was always, "I'm gonna get you." Like that's pretty much his style. I call it the "I'm gonna get you" style. Which he usually never does because he's slow, and his defensive strategy is to brace himself, which is like that. This is horrible. That's not boxing, bro. That's like you're like a cartoon character, pretty much. Um, that's just my opinion. I know it sounds like I'm roasting him or whatever. I mean, I'm just telling you what I think about him. Um, the thing is, when you get older, your reflexes are gone, and you can't brace yourself in time for each shot. And I'm not recommending people to do what he does to make your defensive technique to just tense up. Um, but that's what Danny used to do. He had very little defense, um, and he was relying too much on that one big shot. And he tried to do the same thing here again. Thing is, like I said, he's not the same guy he used to be, and even then, it was a tall order to try and catch somebody like Lara. You know, Lara's a good distance manager. He's a good predictor of movements because of just the style that he has. And it was just gonna be hard stylistically for him to win. Then you add that to the fact that he's old, and it's a recipe for disaster. And I knew that this was a bad idea. I knew that he shouldn't have been fighting anymore. Long layoff. and but here we are. But I mean, as expected, they stopped the fight. Some people said that Danny Garcia didn't want to come out for the 10th, and that he told his father to throw in the towel. Um, and that's pretty much all she wrote for Danny Garcia. Like I said in the last video, he should be doing something else. He shouldn't be in here boxing. This is not for inactive fighters. As much as we like to believe nowadays that it's okay for fighters to fight once a year, um, it's not producing a good product. It's not producing a good product, and we start looking at these fights and we kind of feel sorry for both of the fighters, even though Lara won. Let's be honest. Lara didn't win because he was this great performance that we never seen before, and this is the best Lara we've ever seen. Nah, man. It's just he was fighting a straight up bum in there, bro. Someone who wasn't supposed to be there. So um, it is what it is. Moving on to Rolly Romero versus Jaimes. Now Jaimes, I told you guys, I didn't know who he was. I tried to look for highlights of him just to see, what I could gather and see if I could make a good prediction, but I could not find anything on him. Instead, I actually I found and bumped into my own video, um, which is sad really for him because if you bump into your own video when you're doing research on somebody else, that means that person sucks because I am not that popular at all. Um, and I know what you're saying. It's not always about popularity. That is true, but it is a little bit about popularity. If you listen, if you're good, word's gonna spread about you. You know, and sometimes the rumors are kind of true. Rody Romero hits hard, and that's a rumor that spread through the boxing community, and people know that Rolly Romero hits hard, even though he's not that good of a boxer. Um, so, and the same thing could be true about Jaimes. You know, he's not that good. So he was put in there to keep your boy Rolly Romero busy. But he won the decision, and the other guy got up, I think, like one good shot or something like that. So that was pretty good. Anyways, moving on to Caleb Plant versus yo boy McGumby. Um, so this was actually fight of the night, and maybe even fight of the year. Who knows? But I actually really enjoyed this fight. Caleb Plant, came out there doing the same old, trying to jab and be slick. And McGumpy was like, "Nah, I'm gonna do you, Mexican style." Pause. And then he was like moving around and throwing them hooks, kind of feinting so he could get him with a good left hook. And he eventually got him. Caleb Plant fell. He tried to complain that it was a push, and he got hit in the arm. Looking at the replay, it was definitely a knockdown. You know, and it shows that McGumby is really strong because it didn't really hit him in the head or in the chin or even in the stomach. He hit him in his shoulder, arm, almost part of his chest as well, and that was enough to send him on the floor. You know, so McCumbie definitely he's strong. Okay, because you could tell the way he boxes. He's a very tense fighter. He tenses his muscles a lot. And usually guys like this, they're not the most athletic and they're not the most sweet, but they pack a hell of a punch. Similar to your boy Rolly Romero over here. He's another one of these fighters that's very stiff, very tight. Double pause on that. And the same thing with like Shane Mosley. Shane Mosley also is one of these fighters that's very tense. And because of that, they also down the stretch they also fade away a lot faster because they're They're tensing up their muscles too much, and that gasses you out a lot faster. So eventually, Caleb Plant had to change up his approach to the fight and stop being too slick and too like. And he put his, put some work into the body, and he got in the phone booth and began to take it to McGumpy. And McGumpy didn't know what to do. That's the thing. It's like these types of fighters, that attack you and move forward, and they're kind of like bullies. They're expecting you to move around, and that's actually what they want you to do. They want you to move around and be slick, and throw the jab, and try to do your typical, basic fundamental boxing. And you're gonna tire yourself out, and eventually they're gonna knock you down with a good shot. And that's their plan. But if you flip the script on them and you go to the body and you put your head right in their chest and push back, they really don't know how to adapt to that. So right now with this fight, we could see a good example of what a guy with a high IQ does. He's able to adapt to what his opponent brings to the table and come up with a game plan within the fight to destroy his opponent. That's high IQ. You know, whatever Berlanga was doing, that I don't know what that was because he's talking about high IQ, but it looked like he was thinking in there. And that's the other thing about people talk about high IQ. It's like you're not trying to get into Harvard, bro. It's not that complicated. And I said it before this fight. I said Berlanga has to just go out there and throw shots. Fuck the IQ or whatever. That's not gonna work against Canelo. Canelo's going to catch you slipping, and he's the one gonna be passing the IQ test, not you. You know what I mean? So, and that's what happened. Berlanga was in there trying to jab, which his jab is not as strong as punch. You know, and he got outsmarted. He got knocked down. He was down there looking stupid, like, damn, he caught me. He outsmarted me. Yeah, no shit. That's not your strength. Your strength is youth and ferocity. And that's what you had to go in there and show. But you didn't show none of that because you were too busy trying to be smarter than a veteran. Um, being that was never your strength, ever. And that's pretty much what happened. He got knocked down. I believe in the third round. Yeah, and and that's pretty much it. Canelo just dominated him throughout the whole fight. He did. Berlanga did better than I thought he was gonna do because he survived, but that's about it. He really didn't do much else. Um, and a lot of people like to give more credit than is deserved. He does deserve some credit for surviving, but not. He's not like the next superstar or anything like that. I think he should fight Munguia next. Maybe even Terrence Crawford, but I doubt Terrence Crawford will get in there with him. Um, but we'll see what happens. And for Canelo Alvarez, his next fight is gonna be in Japan. I'm not sure who he's fighting, but if I had to guess, it's gonna be some type of gimmick fight against either one of their fighters over there or Conor McGregor. Right. It's gonna be one of these, man. It's gonna be one of these gimmick fights that's gonna look crazy, and people are gonna be like, "What? I can't believe this type of fight is happening." And people are gonna tune in, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's gonna be the last fight of Canelo's career. Um, so there you go. Now, me personally, I hope that he doesn't do that, and I hope that he fights somebody like I don't know, Terrence Crawford maybe. But really, really, it would be nice if he fights Benavides. And that would be the best option for the people and just for boxing in general. But knowing the ways these things go, that's probably not what's going to happen. He's definitely going to be fighting a gimmick fight, in my opinion, in Japan for sure. They love those things over there, and we love it too. You know, we love it too. But anyways, that is gonna be it for today. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will catch you guys later.